everyone, it's Jonathan, and welcome to Season 4 of I Heart Movies. I can't believe that this is the 4th year of the podcast. Today's episode is a look back at last year, talking about a whole bunch of the best movies in TV that I saw. That's an important caveat, because I know there's a ton of movies and TV that I didn't get to see, and the internet loves to complain when you don't mention their favorite thing. So the movies and TV we're talking about are just my personal favorites in the past year, as well as a few of my least favorites, and those of my guest for this episode, Jayden Sapp. I've tried to do episodes like this ever since I started this podcast, but I've bounced from formats similar to this one to an award show format to me just ranking all the movies I saw on my own with no guests. And of all the ways I've tried to do episodes like this, I think it definitely works best with a friend and as a top 10 list. And with two people making different lists, you can potentially cover a lot more stuff that maybe you missed and they didn't. So that's what we're doing. Like I said, joining me today is my friend Jayden Sapp, so let's just get into it.
I saw 19 movies from last year.
I haven't counted my list yet. I'm still trying to catch up. I still have a few that I have a feeling some would probably have been in this podcast if they were as good as I've heard, but I just haven't gotten to them yet.
I'm assuming you haven't seen Sing 2 or Addams Family 2 yet?
I actually did see Sing 2.
Oh,
I have not
how
seen
was
Addams
it?
Family 2 yet. It's on my list, so...
Oh! I've seen it twice already, twice in the theater.
Well, let's do our worst first. I think for the worst list, we can just give our list from worst to best. And if you want to start, I mean best to worst. I mean least bad to most bad.
Alright, because I was going to say that's how I usually do. I usually do the worst to best if I'm ranking every movie, but like if I was doing like bottom 5, top 5,
Yeah.
like I would be doing it like that. Bottom 5, I guess my 5th worst was Space Jam: A New Legacy, which I didn't even hate. I thought it was fine.
Actually, that's my fifth as well.
Convenient. Yeah, I thought it was fine overall.
Yeah, I think I felt about the same way. It had moments that were good, but overall it was rather underwhelming.
Anything with the Looney Tunes, I did enjoy,
Yes.
but like
Especially the
anything
2D stuff.
yeah, really, anything with LeBron or like just LeBron's family, no, thank you. And LeBron and whoever played his son cannot act.
Yeah, I was very underwhelmed. And it was such a waste of Don Cheadle, too. I did not like his character.
Yeah, I recall you saying that, because I think, I want to say, unless if I'm thinking of someone else, I think you said you liked the Porky Pig rap more.
I probably did say that.
Yeah, really. All the voice actors from, like, it's, I guess, other than Zendaya, it's nice to hear, like, a full voice cast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's fine, just really forgettable. The fake out death, though, was so, wow, this just cut to the chase.
I forgot about that. It's been a while since I saw it.
That's probably the worst one, or, like, the most, like, obvious one I've seen in so long.
Uh-huh.
Because, like, please just cut to the case. He's not dead.
I think I actually fell asleep around that part.
All right. I've never fallen asleep during a movie.
Well, this is at home, and I was on the couch, so...
Oh, yeah. In the theater, at least. I mean, obviously, if we were talking at home, yeah, there's gotta be several.
So what's your next one?
Okay, my 4th worst, I have, what, Earwig and the Witch.
That's one that I still haven't watched yet.
Yeah, I saw this one. It was the first 2021 movie I saw. I saw it in an empty theater. I was the only one in there. I do want to know, I've seen My Neighbor Totoro now, but when I saw this, I had not seen any Ghibli movie. I only saw this because I saw it was at the theater, and since I tried to see all the animated stuff, I was like, oh, I guess I should maybe go see this. Um, and it was really just kind of underwhelming. It's like
Mm.
I can't say I hated it, but at the same time, I've kind of barely thought about it since I went to see it.
I've kind of gotten that impression from other people.
Yeah, the main problem with it is that nothing really happened in it.
Mm.
Kind of stuff going on. It's like people walking and talking, and like the animation in it, while not the worst, the character designs especially just don't look good.
Yeah, especially well, I mean, you said you hadn't seen any other Studio Ghibli, but
And now
for
I
for
have
someone,
seen My Neighbor Totoro as of now, so
yeah, I'm a big fan of Studio Ghibli, and it looks like a serious downgrade from regular Studio Ghibli.
yeah. I've My Neighbor Totoro was great, by the way. I do want to note. So it's like, and I've heard great things about their other movies, and I want to watch them at some point. But like, I guess the designs just don't translate well into CG, or
Yeah,
I don't think they had a big budget because, from what I can tell, this was originally a TV movie in like China or Japan, something like that.
I hadn't heard that, but it does kind of look similar to what you might expect from that.
I've seen worse I've seen Arctic Dogs. Keep in mind, so like that Norm of the North Arctic Dogs level, if you get what I mean.
Yeah,
Like kind of like D tier animated films. Like I've seen plenty of those. This looks better than some of those, I'd say.
yeah.
But yeah, it was just really it was kind of just nothing really to me. It's
Hmm.
like I saw it, I left, that was about it. Right, so I guess what's your number four worst?
Mine is a movie called Extinct. It's a
That
Netflix film.
the irony is that that's actually one I still need to watch.
I there's a couple on here that are on this list simply because I was looking for more movies that I could add to my worst list.
Yeah,
And I
I
knew I
think
was already going to want to watch them because I'm going to do my yearly ranking animation podcast. So I knew I would probably need to watch them eventually anyways, so I kind of for some reason decided to prioritize the worst ones.
yeah, I will say it's like for me when it comes to watching animated movies, like recently I've been kind of struggling to find motivations to watch a lot of the ones that do not go to theaters.
Yeah.
All right, but yeah, Extinct. I know what this one is. It's like koala.
Well, no, it's these weird little donut looking creatures and
Oh wait, dang it! I'm thinking of the wrong one. So I was thinking about Back to the Outback. I'm so sorry. Extinct.
I haven't seen that one yet, but I chose this one because I thought it was going to be absolutely awful, and it turned out it was better than I thought. But I like looking at the art and watching the trailer. These things are almost disturbing because they have a hole right through the middle of them, and I
Yeah,
don't know. That
they
just kind of
don't.
grossed
Yeah,
me out.
yeah. I don't know if I like to look at that for an hour and a half. I'm so sorry for getting the movies confused, by the way.
No, that's fine.
But yeah,
there,
it's like I've heard there's some weird jokes in the movie also.
I mean, there are some jokes that actually kind of work, and it was actually wittier than I expected it to be.
The
Like
director of it has mostly done some Simpsons stuff, from what I saw.
that kind of makes sense. This felt like a movie for little kids, but they put in enough stuff to make it not painful for adults watching it.
That's
If
what
that
most
makes
kids,
sense.
yeah, that's what most kids' movies should do if they're more aiming for the children.
Yeah, and I would not say this is a good movie, but it's mediocre. Like
All right.
most of my bottom list
Mm.
are not actually bad. They're just kind of mediocre. And this kind of ranged from grown jokes to actually that's surprisingly funny, and it kind of went back and forth, so it ended up
All
just being kind of mediocre for me.
right. I guess that's good. That's good that it wasn't terrible because, like, from what I saw, it was like I was kind of like, ugh, about it. Like from
Yeah,
what,
so was I.
yeah. So it's like, okay, that's good to hear.
What's your next one?
Number three, I have Jungle Cruise. Um,
I
now I
still
do.
haven't seen that one.
Yeah, I know you said you were interested.
I am interested. I just haven't gotten around to seeing it yet.
Yeah, it's on Disney Plus. I know, shocker, a Disney movie's on Disney Plus. Never could have predicted. Now, let me just say this is like not awful. I just was kind of like with run of the mill bad to mediocre. I think the thing is this movie was not for me at all. Because I think I told you like I wasn't really that interested, but I saw it in the end. I don't even know why I saw it, but like I was just really just indifferent. I just didn't like it. It's like, but like I get the appeal of it at least.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I'm not too into these kind of swashbuckling adventures. So it's like, eh. It's like, and I was just kind of bored through most of the movie. I will say, Emily Blunt and The Rock are both good in their respective roles. Just want to say, I love Emily Blunt. I love anything she does, really.
Mm-hmm.
She's a great actress. And she was probably the best part of this movie for me. But like, unless if you're into those adventure type movies, there's for me at least nothing to grab you about this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And the editing at points was kind of noticeably bad, also, I think. But yeah, just I didn't like it, but I've seen worse.
I've heard mixed reviews, but I'm still interested in seeing it because I actually do like that kind of film.
Yeah, I think you'll like it because I know this one I've known plenty of people who both like it and don't. So go for it. All right, I guess what's your number three?
For number three, I have another movie that I watched just because I was looking for other bad animation, and it's another one that's just squarely mediocre. It's called Charming, and this was technically
Oh,
released a long time ago, but it only hit the U.S. via Netflix this year, so I'm still counting it as this year.
I should know that about Earwig. It was technically in 2020, but it
Yeah.
didn't hit US. But yeah, Charming, I've heard of. I know what this one is. This is made by Vanguard Animation, who
Mm-hmm.
has done movies such as Space Chimps and Happily Never After. Terrible movie.
I'm not sure if I don't think I've seen those.
Yeah, it's like Happily Never After is like the Shrek ripoff. That's not
Yeah.
good.
I know what they are, and I think I've seen trailers for those. So I will say that the animation on this is much better than those because those were like not early CGI but still very mediocre CGI. The animation on this was fine and
They also
almost
did,
good at times.
what was it, Gnome Alone they also did from 2018 that was supposed to go to theaters that got dumped on Netflix. That was also these people.
I think so. I don't know if I saw that one either. I know what
Yeah,
you're talking about, but I don't remember if I
yeah.
saw it.
I guess you can talk about you go on, I guess talk about this one for a little bit.
It had potential. It had I, like most movies of its kind, it had a star-studded voice cast, and
Isn't Thea in it?
yes, she actually played my favorite character, but she only had one scene.
Yeah, Thea.
I loved her scene because it was so incredibly weird,
All
so
right.
bizarre. It was like so out of left field because the main characters get captured by these giants, and she's like, I think she's called like the half oracle. So she sees the future, but she's only half right. And she has a song It's so bizarre. It's like trippy, and it's like, where did this come from? So
All right. See, I'm not the biggest fan of after last year because I'm sure I don't know if you've heard of it, but she had that music movie that was like offensive.
I'd heard of it, and when I first heard of Sia was making a movie, I was like, yes. Then I heard what it was about. I was like, what?
And the thing,
And I never saw it.
I do like her music technically. I like her song in the My Little Pony movie. I liked, but yeah, I guess more. I've seen posters for this Charming. I know what it is. It's like another fairy tale parody.
Yeah, it's basically the Prince Charming from all the fairy tales is apparently the same character, and at the beginning of the movie, he is engaged to all the princesses, and for some reason, he has to choose one. But like, why did he get engaged to all of them at the same time? That's never explained. And he has to go on this weird quest to like help him figure out which one he wants to marry, but they don't go with him. I don't know why he has to go on the quest to figure this out. And he ends up falling in love with his guide, who is like this thief person, I guess, but she's like disguised as a man. And by the end, when he figures out that, or when she is revealed as a woman, he falls in love with her immediately.
That sounds kind of dumb.
It is. It's very dumb. Like the movie is so very dumb. There's no reason that it should actually be good, but there are sequences in it that kind of work and are kind of fun.
Mm.
But then it goes right back to being completely stupid again. So it goes back and forth between this is so stupid and dumb to okay, I'm kind of enjoying myself, and then it goes dumb again. So
Yeah, that
in
one's
the end,
one
it's
I
just
have not seen
mediocre.
it. This is another one I haven't seen yet. I don't think I had any intention to watch this one, unlike the some of the other one. But like, I was like, I didn't see any, but I just saw the quality of the animation from like the picture and like it was Vanguard, so I was like, ha, no.
The animation was better than I expected. I expected really bad CGI, and this is actually decent. It's not Pixar level by any means, but
But
it's
for a mid-tier animation or like a C tier or something like that, a lower tier, I
yeah,
guess.
yeah.
I can't. I never saw a full trailer, but like they just like the poster for it on Netflix just had really bad animation. So I like,
Mm-hmm.
and again, I saw the studio, so it's like because both like again, Space Chimps, terrible animation.
Yeah, it's. I don't recommend it, but if you get roped into watching it, you won't hate you won't hate it.
All
Probably.
right, considering their other two movies, considering I've seen both Happily Never After and Space Chimps, that I guess is a weird compliment. So, congratulations. I think the moral of the day is the best non-Shrek animated fairy tale movie, still the first Hoodwinked.
I love Hoodwinked.
I really like the first one, and the second one just.
The second one I watched once and completely forgot everything about it. I
I
do not
remember
remember what it's
I,
about.
I remember it was about Hansel and Gretel or some. It was like they investigate on the kidnapping of Hansel and Gretel, and they turn out to be the villains. Yeah, it's like I remember asking you about it because I knew you really liked the first one, and like I remember you said you found it really disappointing and then completely forgot about it. The director of the first one and Patrick Warburton didn't even like the movie, so the second one.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
But yeah, the fact that charming isn't the worst thing, I guess, is the weird compliment you can get. So yeah. All right. My second, I'm guessing,
Yeah, you're second to worst.
Tom and Jerry.
That's also mine.
Yeah, this was one I disliked from the day one, but I kind of grew to dislike it more the more time went on. I did not. This was really boring.
I think that's probably my main complaint about it as well.
It's like and like it has a big pacing problem because of being really boring. Like it feels really long.
And it didn't have enough Tom and Jerry either. It's
Yeah,
like,
whenever they were on screen, it was fine, but like,
yeah, most of the stuff, the animated stuff, it was fine and fun. But then you had this unrelated story that was so boring.
yeah, it's like none of those characters were likable, by the way.
No.
Like remember, Chloe Grace Moretz steals a resume to get in or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Heck, if you were to just compile the Tom and Jerry stuff, you might get about 10 to 15 minutes overall, honestly.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was that little, yeah.
Yeah. Michael Pena really annoyed me in the movie. His acting was not good.
I feel like I've seen him in better stuff. I don't
Yeah,
remember what it is right now, but I feel like this is not indicative of him as an actor. Like this was him at his worst.
yeah. Um, it has a lot of stuff I hate about modern kids, like gross out humor, which I cannot
Oh yeah.
stand. And in this one, it was more awful than usual. I cannot
Mm-hmm.
stand that type of humor. Even in movies I like, it's like, ugh, kill me.
Yes. Same.
Um, but yeah, it was really bad. I didn't like it at all. I know the writer. Apparently, the writers said Warner Brothers told them not to make not make a Tom and Jerry movie.
Okay. That doesn't really make any sense.
Like, if you take Tom and Jerry out of the title, then it's just and.
And the movie.
That would be more fitting considering how little they're in. To be fair, it seems like they just wanted to make a movie about a hotel, really, but someone thought it wouldn't do well, so they attached Tom and Jerry.
Yeah, I don't know where any of the ideas for this movie came from. All I know is that it didn't work very well.
All right, so I guess yeah, Tom and Jerry not good at all. I guess my number one,
Your worst of the worst.
yeah, this might I guess I might get black considering I'm not the demographic, but Paw Patrol the movie I didn't like at all. I saw it, yes. I ugh, I didn't like it. Was I guess I should say I'm aware this is a film for like toddlers, but to me, if you're releasing a movie in theaters, you need to be held to a much higher standard.
Yeah.
And this movie is just it's like a direct to video movie in theaters. It's not the worst of those simply because the animation's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're not at Norm of the North, Arctic Dogs, where the animation is garbage. Like no, the animation's fine, but like in terms of the writing, the character, like it's just a direct to video movie that went to theaters, really.
Yeah, I did not see that. I don't even plan on watching it before I do my animation ranking.
Yeah, if so I guess to note, I'm dedicated to seeing all the animated films, and Jonathan, it's mostly just the major ones.
The major ones, plus a few others here and there, whatever I have time for.
Because there's some you'll never guess. Jonathan does indeed not want to sit through. Like I asked him, why didn't he watch Norm of the North? And I wonder why.
I only have so many free hours in the day. I don't want to waste them with a creepy dancing polar bear.
Or like any of those like lower tier anime. Like there's a few I know you'll watch, but like the ones that are like there's a difference between like mid tier and like low tier. Because
Mm-hmm.
like I know like let's say the Ugly Dolls movie. That's like fine. Like you
Mm-hmm.
could tell something like that, one of those like okay, there's passion after Norm of the North, no. Or Arctic Dogs, no. So I guess your worst. What is it?
My worst. We're finally getting into something not animation related. My worst is a movie called Christmas Down Under.
Oh
This
my
is
God, I
one that
think I saw you rated that. I think I saw that on your letterbox.
I watched this for Rachel's podcast because she was doing non Hallmark holiday movies, like off network things on the Hallmarkies podcast. And I like The Pioneer Woman, so around the time that The Pioneer Woman's Christmas movie came out, she wanted to have me on to talk about it. But she doesn't do just one movie at a time because there's way too many for that. So she gave me a whole list of movies that were all releasing around that time that were going to be talked about on the podcast. And I chose a bunch of them, including this one, because I thought it sounded interesting. And it turned out to be one of the worst movies I've ever seen. It was so bad. The acting was terrible. The tropes about Australia were, I don't, some people might find them offensive.
I think, was this the movie you gave half star to that I saw you rate?
Probably, I don't remember. I
I
wouldn't
think
have rated it very high.
yeah, as far as I know, this might technically be the worst movie I've seen you rate.
It probably, it was so dumb.
That does not sound like fun to sit through.
No, I only finished it because I was gonna talk about it on the podcast, and I I gave my honest opinion on it on the podcast.
Oh, I'm gonna have to maybe find that at some point. Usually, I'm not used to seeing you not angry because we're talking about it now, and you're not angry per se, but like that's like one of the most, I guess, meanest I've seen you at a movie.
Probably.
Yeah, you've seen mostly chill when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't normally get upset about movies, and I
I
don't
don't
normally watch
like,
bad movies, like
yeah,
purposely
like
watch them.
if I roped myself into a corner when I said, "Hey, I'm gonna watch every theatrical animated film." But even then, I don't like to get angry with movies personally. I just don't think
Hmm.
it's worth it. Or if I do get angry, it's like the week it comes out, that's it.
Yeah.
Guess now we're doing our best.
Yeah. Do you have any that you would consider runners up? Because I have my top 10, but I have a few that I would say they they're all really good, and I didn't want to like not mention them. So I wanted to like talk about some runners up.
A lot of the movies I saw, like a lot of these, I think are just good, not great. Great, like slots 10 through 7, I think are just good. Good. Okay, yeah, I do have 10. I guess in 11, I had Free Guy. I really liked.
I still haven't seen that one.
Is that one
Uh,
you want to watch?
I do want to watch it. I wanted to watch it when it came out, but I never got to the theater. So now I'm waiting for it to hit Disney
Yeah,
Plus.
it comes out like next week, I think, on Disney Plus. So
Yeah, it comes out soon, but not soon enough for me to have watched it for this.
yeah, all right. Yeah. Most of the other stuff I saw, I thought was just fine. Like Adam's Family 2, Rumble, I thought were both just fine.
Those are two that I haven't seen because I didn't get to the theater, and
For
I
the
don't think
Adam's
Rumble even
Family.
was in the theater.
No, that one, like midway through November, they announced to put it on Paramount, and they announced it only 3 weeks before the release.
Yeah, it got bumped all over the schedule and then just abandoned on streaming.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess your runners up, I guess.
For my runners up, I have three movies and two TV shows. For the one TV show is animated, and that one is Amphibia.
I've heard of this one.
Season 3 is currently airing. It's one of those shows that it reminds me a little bit of Gravity Falls, and that's why I really like it, but it's not quite as good as Gravity Falls.
All right.
So
I've never seen either. I want to.
it's one that I definitely recommend. It's not like top on my top 10, but it's way up there. I really like it, and season 3 so far has been really good. Season 2 is also really good. It was kind of a slow burn in season 1, but then it kept getting better and better, and now it's really good.
All right.
And then I also have Loki.
All
I
right.
I, I was kind of flip flopping back and forth because I had two series like right at the end of my top 10, and I decided that Loki would go in my runners up. I really like it, probably as much as my other one, which
All right.
I'll get to
So
later.
I guess
But
these two are practically interchangeable.
yeah, that like in some ways, most Marvel things are like I have a couple Marvel things at the very top of my list, but the
Yeah, a
rest
lot of
are all
my list,
good.
not Marvel, because I'm not into, but a lot of my movies, they're kind of interchangeable in terms of where I rank them. I'll just say that in
Yeah,
advance.
yeah, I feel like I do that a lot too. Like I make my rankings, but depending on the day, I could rank some things higher than others. But yeah, anyways, Loki was really good. I really liked it, and I wanted to mention it as a recommendation for people who like Marvel. It's definitely worth watching.
All right.
And then another Marvel thing, this one a movie, Black Widow. Yeah, I
All right.
really liked it, and for a while it was on my top 10, and then a couple other things kind of bumped it off, but it's still way up there. I really enjoyed it.
All right.
And then, speaking of Emily Blunt, I have A Quiet Place Part 2 on
Oh,
my runners up. This is another one that
I've
was
heard
on
that
my top
too.
10 for a while.
I've heard good things about all this stuff.
Yeah, I really liked A Quiet Place, and A Quiet Place 2 was a really good sequel.
Yeah, it's like a lot of these, it's like I don't have anything against them, just not really my thing, if you get what I
Yeah,
mean.
yeah.
Like once when I saw the Quiet Place trailer in the theater, I kind of had to get up and because it was like kind of too loud for me, and like I had to, if you get what I mean.
This it's kind of ironic considering that the movie itself is so quiet. For most of the movie, it's like so quiet.
Oh
But
my
they
God, did
it
they just
uses
make the did they just put the loudest parts in the trailer?
probably they use the loudness to their advantage because it really shocks you when it happens because the
All
most of the
right.
movie is just so quiet.
All right. Yeah, I love Emily Blunt. I just want to say even I'm gonna say even in Sherlock Gnomes, she's good in.
Okay. My last runner up is Raya and the Last Dragon. That was another one that was on my top 10 for a while and then slowly got bumped off. But it's really good. I really liked it. I love Aquafina. I think she's hilarious. I loved her as the dragon.
Yes, same. I love that character. You're gonna see this one pretty high on my list. I'll just say that in
That
advance.
that doesn't surprise me. It is really good, and it
Yes,
was a lot higher, and it will be a lot higher on my final animation list, I'm sure. But I have so much other stuff that got mixed into the top 10 of
yes.
everything,
I will note,
including.
I think I might watch more movies than you, but you might at the same time. I don't know which one. Yeah, I watch more movies as soon as they come out, but I think long term you might you at least do more variety than me. So I'm not
Mm,
surprised if some of these lists are like kind of much different, I guess.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, you're gonna be seeing Ryan on my so I guess we'll be talking about it again in a little bit. All right, so I guess top 10 time.
Yes, starting with number 10 and working our way up.
All right, at number 10, I have Vivo.
Okay, that's one that I have not seen yet. It's on my list that I will be watching before I do my animation ranking.
Yeah, it's like, I liked it. It was cute. I don't really, it's kind of, I haven't really thought about it much since I first watched it, but like, I liked it. It was a sweet little movie. It's nicely animated. There's a lot I liked about it. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
you just don't have really a lot to say. I haven't seen it since it first came out, but it's like, I liked it. I thought it was good.
Yeah, I was looking forward to this one, and I wish it would have made it to theaters because I think I would have made more of an attempt to get out and see it. But it was another one that kind of just got abandoned.
Yeah, a lot of the movies I haven't like. Let's say I haven't yet to see what Wish Dragon.
That's another
What
one I have not seen yet, but I plan to.
yeah, Wish Dragon. As I mentioned earlier, I hadn't seen out Back to the Outback. It's like if those went to theaters, I would have definitely. And like the ones I watch immediately are because they were going to be in theaters.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess and like those ones, like their theatrical releases, like they either never had one or they were canceled way before the pandemic. So if you
Mm-hmm.
get what I mean.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really liked Vivo. It's a sweet. The songs are good.
Yeah. Well, Lin Manuel Miranda. So.
who you will be seeing at the top of my list again. You probably know. I'm guessing you know what it is, given who I am.
Yes.
All right, you're number 10.
For my number 10, I also have a Lin-Manuel Miranda musical. I have In the Heights. I
Ooh,
loved this movie. I went to the theater and I saw it, and then when it came out on HBO Max, I think it was, I remember it was a simultaneous release. I watched it again. So,
yeah, they did
yeah.
that one. They did the same simultaneous.
Yeah, I really liked this movie. I didn't know what to expect going in. I just knew it was Lin-Manuel Miranda, and I really liked it. I thought the music was great. I liked the characters, and it was more emotional than I expected, especially, well, I'm not going to give it away, but I loved everything with the grandmother. She was great. I mean, I guess she's not the grandmother. She's
All
sort
right,
of a grandmother figure.
all right.
But I have a thing for grandmother figures in movies anyway, so
I've
I
heard
really like this movie. Totally
it's
recommend In the Heights.
excellent. If I ever get into musicals, I'll probably check this one out, or like these type of musicals.
Yeah. So what's your number 9?
Uh, given keep I'm gonna say this: The Boss Baby, Family Business. I Yeah, I get these next three. It's like I feel like if I've seen a lot of movies, these wouldn't be. But yeah, The Boss Baby, Family Business. Before you guys ask, no, Jonathan did not watch this one.
Yeah, I'm not even planning on
I,
catching it
I'll
before
get
I do
him.
my ranking.
I'll get him one day. I'll get you one day, my pretty, and your little dog too. But yeah, The Boss Baby, Family Business. I thought the first one was just kind of fine. This one worked a lot better. Like a lot of the jokes, they toned down the gross out. There was a lot less gross out, and it was more kind of like random crazy stuff, which I appreciated. All the voice cast is good. Animation's great. There's some moments where it's like they really get to go all out and crazy. But yeah, that's my number 9.
Well, for my number 9, that's where I have the other Marvel series that I was wavering back and forth as to whether I should have Loki here, or what I ended up with is Hawkeye. This one kind of surprised me because Hawkeye's never been one of my favorite Marvel characters. He's just kind of been there, just one of the extra extra characters. So I didn't even make this a priority to watch when it came out. I ended up watching it much later, even though it was a Christmas series. So you're supposed to watch it around Christmas. I didn't watch it till after Christmas. I ended up really liking it, and I really liked the new characters that were introduced and the new villains, including one that I'm not sure if she was supposed to be a villain or not. It seemed like maybe she was going to be redeemed, and I think they're setting her up for something more later. So that'll be really interesting. And of course, I really liked in Black Widow, her sister, Yelena Belova. She was my favorite character from that, and I loved that she came back for this series. So that's part of what pushed it over the top for me and why it became a lot higher. But yeah, I really liked Hawkeye, and it's one that you, if you're a Marvel fan, you don't want to miss that one.
All right. I guess my number 8. Seems like I like this one more than most, but Spirit Untamed. Keep in mind, I mostly watch the kids' movie, and I'm kind of more, I guess, leeway for these type of movies because I'm kind of more nicer to these type of kids' movies than most people.
Mm-hmm.
And this one was especially because it's a horse girl movie, and I was like, something tells me I'm gonna like this more than most, and yeah, I did. It's generic, yeah, but like it had a sweet heart to it where I was like, okay, I liked it. The voice work I liked. McKenna Grace specifically, that her character was probably my favorite of the main three girls. Yeah, not another one I don't really have much to say. I liked it. It's not great, but like I had a good time. And if you have little girls, given the audience I saw this with, they are gonna eat this movie up.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't seen that one. It's not high on my priority to catch up on. I am kind of interested just because I want to know what. Like, it's
Hmm.
so different. It looks so different than the original Spirit movie,
It's
which I.
more so. like a reboot to the
Yeah.
TV show, like a retelling of like the first season or whatever, something like that.
Which is such a weird concept already.
Yeah, same. I agree. It's like, and I've seen trailers for the show, so it's like I know it's a very similar plot.
Mm. My number 8 is where I have Sing 2.
You'll be seeing this one on mine in a little bit.
I really liked the original Sing. I was really excited for another one. Just, it's so. It doesn't seem like something that would be that great. It's like, oh, a singing animals movie. It so sounds so generic. But there's something about it that I just really like. I think it's the fact that they get such great actual singers to do these characters, and then the soundtrack just is so good. Like
Yes,
if this movie did not have the soundtrack it does, I don't think I would like it. Like it would be just another meh, fine, whatever. But the soundtrack is what pushes this one over the top for me. I loved it. It was
yeah,
just so good.
yeah. You'll be seeing this one on mine in about a few slots from now. Yeah, I really like this one. I'll just say that in advance. I personally find these characters really likable in both movies.
Yeah.
I think that helps
That's
for me.
another thing that helps it. I love the old lady lizard.
Oh yeah,
like
Miss
I have a thing for old
Crawley.
lady characters. I loved her. She's so
Yeah, Miss
funny.
Crawley. She's really funny. I liked her. I liked the running joke. There was a running joke with her involving like being more aggressive or something,
Yes.
and I found really freaking funny.
Yeah, she's great. I love her.
Yeah, and that's voiced by the director, by the way.
Oh really? I don't think I
Yeah,
knew that.
yeah. Garth Jennings does the voice of that character.
He does a good old lady voice.
But yeah, I guess we'll be talking about this one again in a little bit when we get to mine. So I guess my number seven, another one. Jonathan has no desire to watch. Keep this. Peter Rabbit 2: The Runaway.
Okay.
Unless if you do an every Beatrix Potter or something. And like I know you said, I'm gonna have to have you on for this because I don't think anyone's gonna be willing to watch these.
Yeah, probably.
The first Peter Rabbit I liked a lot more than I thought I would because like going back to what I said earlier when we were talking about Tom and Jerry, it's like it looked like one of those type of kids movies, but like I ended up thinking it was surprisingly fun and a little clever. There's some meta humor in there that I like. And the second one's just as good, if not slightly. I'd say it's probably better. There's a lot of meta humor I really liked on this one as well. Specifically, they do poke fun at how annoying James Corden is. It's like you know how it'll go, but like, yeah, I enjoyed it. I had a fun time. It depends on who you are for this one. Also, if you're a purist, avoid these movies. You're not gonna like them. I don't know if you're gonna like them very much if you ever watch them. By the way,
Yeah, I have a feeling I probably won't, but we'll see.
maybe you'll just be meh on them. I think.
That's probably the most likely scenario,
Yeah,
actually.
because again, I don't see you hate a lot of movies, so I doubt you'll flat out hate them. But like, I don't think you'll be too big on them either. I think.
Yeah, probably.
All right, so you're number seven. That's the number we're on, I think.
Yeah. This one is another TV series. This one is Big City Greens.
All right, I know this one also.
I feel like I'm surprised at how much I love this show. I don't really know why I love the show so much. It kind of reminds me of it's like the Beverly Hillbillies mixed with Looney Tunes, maybe. And
Yeah,
I haven't seen much of The Simpsons, but maybe a tiny bit of Simpsons.
I've seen clips of it, so I know what it's. I know it's like these green kind of country bumpkin type people. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah. They move to the big city because they lose their farm in the first episode,
Yeah, I
and
know the gist of it.
yeah, and it's just them trying to fit in the big city, and it's just the humor is so random and hilarious and smart and quirky, and the characters are so endearing that I just love the show. I can only see it through Disney Plus, so I'm just always waiting for Disney Plus to add some new episodes. And I know they're starting season 3 now, so I'm just waiting for them to drop some episodes. I miss Big City Greens. I haven't watched any since probably middle of last year, whenever season 2 came out.
All
I
right.
need a Big City Greens fix.
Disney Plus, it makes Jonathan happy. If you're watching this, you need to listen to him. He needs his Big City Greens. I do want to note a lot of these shows, like the one you mentioned, like I want to watch them, but I just lack motivation.
I'm that way with a lot of things too. I have too many
Yeah,
things going on, so they get pushed down the priority list, even though.
I'm exactly the same. But my number six, as I mentioned earlier, Sing 2.
Okay.
I loved the first one, and I thought this one was just as good. I want to know the animation, like specifically the final show is a treat for the eyes.
Yeah.
I loved that final show. It looked really nice visually.
I feel like a lot of the appeal is like this movie is almost a series of music videos, and they're all really good.
Yeah, it's and the soundtrack's really dang good. Like it's covers, but they're good covers mostly.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
I really like all of them. And like as I stated earlier, I found these characters really likable. And yeah, if they do another one, sure, I'd like more of these characters. I liked the Clay Calloway character. I liked what they were going for with him.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I guess you're number six.
My number 6, I have another TV show. This is The Bad Batch. This is a Star Wars series. It's the follow up of the Clone Wars, and I ended up liking this a lot more than I thought I was going to. It follows the characters of the Bad Batch, who only showed up in the last season of the Clone Wars, and they were decent characters, but they weren't like characters that I personally saw spin-off potential for. They were just kind of interesting clone variants, and the fact that they made a series about them, I was like, they should have picked somebody else. But then I ended up really liking it, and I really enjoy what they're doing with the series. Basically, talking about the rise of the Empire through the eyes of the clones, and how that affects them as characters. And then there's a new clone character who's a female, which at first glance you would think they're just putting this character in as somebody who little kids will like and they can sell toys of, and it's just like I don't know, just a random kid character that doesn't need to be there. But I really like what they're doing with her character, and it's really interesting to explore her backstory and why she was created. It adds new layers to the Star Wars mythology that I wasn't expecting, and I'm really liking it, and I'm really interested to see where it's going to go in the future.
All right. So my number five, I have Ron's Gone Wrong. I really liked this one. I really liked the character of Ron a lot. I thought he was delightful, and Zach Galifianakis does a great job. I also just want to say, Zach Galifianakis, do more voice work because I really liked him in Missing Link also.
I love Zach Galifianakis.
Yeah, he's really funny.
And Ron's Gone Wrong is not on my list, but I did like it more than I thought I was going to. It was a little closer to mediocre for me, but I did enjoy a lot of it.
All right,
there's some things fair. I think it could have done better, but it was not a bad movie by any means. And Zach Galifianakis is great in it.
Yeah, I really liked Barney and Ron's relationship. I thought that was really sweet. Something I like, there's characters like there's the popular girl and the bully. They're not just stereotypes, they're actual characters. The more you get to know them, that's something I really liked. And without going into spoilers, the ending of the movie was really sweet. Oh, and Olivia Colman as the grandmother, I thought was really good.
I love the grandmother.
Yeah, going back to your old lady thing, I guess early. The Donka, I think is her name.
I think so.
Yeah, I really liked that character.
Yeah, anytime there's a little old lady, it's probably a good bet it's going to be one of my favorite characters.
Yeah, I can't blame you. But yeah, I really liked Ron's Gone Wrong. If you have Disney Plus, I recommend it, since Disney did nothing for it, really. I guess you're number five?
My number five, I feel like it should be higher, but all of the next batch, I guess, are all kind of interchangeable. So the fact that it's number 5 does not mean that it's in any way lesser than these other ones. It's
I should know,
extremely
like,
good in its own way.
no matter where we rank them, like, it doesn't change the fact we like all these movies.
Yeah, definitely. This is where I have the Mitchells versus the Machines. I loved this movie. It's so unique. It kind of is the spiritual successor to Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse just because of the animation style. I loved how it mashed up like 2D elements with the 3D characters. It
Yeah.
just it feels so different than pretty much anything else that's out these days. And I loved the characters. I loved the different set pieces and sequences. I absolutely loved the Furby scene, of course. The Furbies were hilarious. That was my favorite part of the whole movie.
I remember those were a thing. I remember when those were in McDonald's kids meal toys. I remember those.
Yeah, there's so much about this movie that I just love, and it's one of the best animated movies of the year. It's not quite my favorite, but it's way up there for me. It's really good.
I
Definitely a
guess
can't miss one.
I guess I will say I have seen this one. Been in the minority. I thought it was just okay. I really wanted to love it, but like something about it didn't click with me, if that's fair.
Mm,
I don't know. I really wanted to love it. It's not a bad movie at all. I thought it was okay. But like, I don't know. I was in a really bad mood the day I watched it, so that might have not helped. But it wasn't a bad movie. It's just I wish I got more out of it, if that's fair.
yeah. Well, maybe watch it on a day when you're not in a bad mood and see how you feel.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But it's not a bad. I do like. I just want to say Danny McBride, really good, and as the father.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, what number are we on now? 4.
Yeah.
All right, my number 4 is Luca.
Luca's another one that I have not yet seen. Like that one I was putting off because I was going to watch it with my cousins, and somehow we just haven't yet. And
Oh,
I haven't gotten to watch it myself yet either. So
oh
I'm going to
wow.
eventually watch it alone
For
because
some
I need to
for some
watch it.
reason I thought you had seen it, but I guess not.
No, it's one of the ones that is like the most egregious oversight of my entire year that I have not seen Luca yet. I need to.
Yeah, I guess I won't say much about it because I don't want to spoil too much. I thought it was a very sweet, charming movie. All the characters are really likable. The story, while simple, is endearing.
Hmm.
I really like the animation style a lot. Yeah, I'm trying not to say a lot because I don't want to spoil it, but I really liked it. I'll just say that it's a really good one.
Okay, yeah, that's what I've heard, and I'm looking forward to watching it.
Are
I
you gonna
wanted to
watch?
watch it with my cousins because we always watch the Pixar movies together, and somehow we just never got to it. And yeah, I definitely will be watching it soon.
Do you know if you're gonna try to watch Turning Red with them when that comes out in a month?
I'm gonna try. It might end up being just watching it myself again, but
It is gonna be on Disney Plus. They're not doing it in theaters, which makes me a little disappointed.
yeah, that is a bit disappointing, but
Better than not getting it at all, I suppose.
yeah. But I think I feel like it'll be easier to watch that one with them because I know they're looking forward to that one more than they were looking forward to Luca because they
All right,
watched the trailer and they really liked it. So we'll
all
see.
right,
I'm definitely going to watch both Luca and Turning Red, but yeah, just
right.
haven't gotten to Luca yet, and I will be soon.
Yeah. So you're number 4.
Number 4, I have Spider-Man: No Way Home. This movie I ended up liking way more than I expected I was going to. Like I've liked the new Spider-Man movies, but they weren't like top tier because like I grew up with the Tobey Maguire ones. Like I think the Tobey Maguire movie was like one of the very first. No, I think it was the first PG-13 movie I ever saw in a theater, and it was at the time when I was not really allowed to watch PG-13 movies, but I think an exception was made for that one. I loved it. So the Spider-Man movies, the most recent ones, I've liked them, but I haven't loved them. This one I loved. They brought back Tobey Maguire. They brought back Andrew Garfield. They made it work in such a way that just made perfect sense for this universe. The trailers, when they first came out, I thought it looked kind of dumb, and I was like, where are they going with this? But they turned it around in the movie. The trailers were kind of deceptive as to how they were going to be dealing with the multiverse thing. It ended up being so good. One of my favorite Marvel movies of the year. It's top tier Marvel for me. I loved it.
All right. So my number 3 is My Little Pony: A New Generation. I just want to. So I guess I should clarify. Big fan of the G4 series. It's one of my favorites. I love it. I think it's very charming, well made. Characters very endearing, nicely animated. So I was interested to see what they do with this new generation, and it's not at this point. I really liked it. Yeah, it is a little bit of a generic plot, but like it's executed fun enough, and the characters are still really likable, and the animation's great. Yeah, it's just a delight. If you like My Little Pony G4, and if you're curious, I do recommend this.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't seen that one. It's not high on my priority list, but I kind of want to watch it with my cousin to see
Yeah,
what
I
she
was gonna
thinks of it
say,
because she loves My Little Pony.
I know you said you wanted to do a podcast with her, like
Yeah,
every My Little Pony generation. So I feel if you don't watch it for the 2021 animation, I feel like you'll end up watching it eventually, is my guess,
probably. Yeah,
with
I
her.
probably will.
Yeah, I think you'll like it. Do you like the G4 series, Friendship is Magic?
Yeah, I haven't watched the whole thing. I've watched some episodes, and I've liked the episodes that I've seen.
And I
I
know you saw the theatrical movie from
yeah,
2017. Uh,
I feel like that the way everybody was talking about it, I thought it was going to be like this amazing show that was like so smart and witty and brilliant, and it wasn't as adult as I thought it was going to be. Like, not that it was not adult as in like dirty jokes and stuff, but like,
that does not sound good
you
to
know what I
me.
mean? Like, I thought it was going to be
Yeah,
more for an older audience, and it really wasn't.
yeah,
But
but
it was still well done, and it's still definitely worth watching. But it
and
wasn't.
parents can watch it and kind of enjoy it
Yes,
with their
yes,
kids.
but it like the way people were talking, I thought it was going to be one of those shows like that anybody of any age would totally love watching it, no matter if they're watching it with kids or not. And I didn't find it to be that for me. It was
All
good
right,
enough that I could watch some episodes and have a good time, but not good enough that I was like, I need to watch every episode of this.
yeah, that's fair. That's totally fair. It's I will say it is impressive that an actual well made for both kids and adults can watch and like it fine compared to the
Hmm.
previous generations, which I have not seen, but they seem like kind of the obnoxious girly stereotyping to me, if you get what I mean. I can't stand gender stereotyping.
I haven't seen the shows themselves, but I've seen the movies or some of the movies, or at least one. It was a lot darker than I thought it was going to be.
Oh, I know Danny DeVito was in one of them.
Yeah. So there, it's probably not as stereotypical as you would think, but I haven't watched all of the old series to know for sure. I
All
have a
right, it just
feeling the one from the 90s probably would lean more towards the stereotypes, but the one from the 80s, I feel like if the movie that I saw was anything to go by, it's darker than you would expect. But
all
I
right,
can't say for sure because I haven't watched the series.
all right. That's interesting. I feel I might watch the theatrical 90 movie or whenever it came out eventually out of a spectacle curiosity, but I don't really have any intentions on watching the old show.
Hmm.
But yeah, I guess you're number 3.
My number three, I have another Marvel movie. This was my favorite Marvel movie of the year. This was Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten
Oh,
Rings.
oh,
What?
go on. Go on. For some reason, I thought because I know you really liked Eternals.
I did like Eternals, but not as much as the others that I have on this list. It's
All
Eternals
right.
would be like right below my runners up. I
All
liked it a
right.
lot more than other people did. Like a lot of people hated Eternals, and I did
Yeah.
not hate Eternals. I did enjoy it. For me it's worth watching. It's a really good looking movie.
All right.
I can understand why people thought parts of it didn't make sense, but yeah, it's not top 10 for me, but it's still good.
Obviously, I can't say, but like, sorry for the confusing again. But yeah, Shang-Chi, I guess you can go on that.
Yeah, I loved this movie. It part of that has to do with Aquafina. Again, I love Aquafina, but
Oh,
the
I'm
movie,
about to talk about her.
what?
I'm about to talk about her, all
Oh,
right.
oh yeah, okay. But yeah, she was so good in this movie, but everybody was so good. I didn't know what to expect because like I didn't know who Shang-Chi is. And like I'm not the kind of Marvel fan who like knows the backstories of every character and knows all the obscure characters. Like I'm basically introduced to these characters when the new movie comes out. So that this was my introduction to this world, and I really liked it. I thought it was really creative. I really liked the, I guess, the alternate dimension where all the mythical creatures lived, and I love the fact that they brought in the bad guy from Iron Man 3 and made his whole thing make sense, cuz I know there was like an uproar when Iron Man 3 came out and the Mandarin was revealed not to be the actual Mandarin from the comics, but I loved how they tied that in and made the whole thing make sense. And yeah, this movie is so different than all the other Marvel movies in a really good and creative way, and it's just really fun, really awesome spectacle. Like it's definitely one that I would recommend seeing on the big screen. I know it's way past being on the big screen, but even if you can't see it on the big screen, it's still worth watching. It's so much fun and it's so cool to look at.
All right. So I guess my number two and one are really interchangeable. So I guess do you want to do your number two first then maybe?
Okay, my number two is another Marvel property, but a series. This is where I have WandaVision.
All right.
WandaVision, I absolutely loved this show. I wish that all the Marvel series could be as, I don't know, enthralling and edge of my seat as WandaVision was. Like they're good. Like all of the Marvel series that I've watched are good in their own ways, but WandaVision was so different. It's like something that shouldn't have worked, but
Mm,
it worked so spectacularly well because for anybody who doesn't know, like I don't know how you wouldn't know what WandaVision is, but it's basically Wanda, who's the Scarlet Witch in the Marvel universe. She and Vision, who is a robot, they're in this alternate dimension where they are like living out their lives as sitcom characters through the ages.
I've heard about WandaVision a lot compared like a lot more than I've heard about the other Marvel shows from last year.
Probably because like everybody was talking about it because it was so different.
Yeah, I
Like
remember that. I remember when it came out.
it doesn't feel like something that should work. It's like the Scarlet Witch, this magical person from the comics, and a robot find themselves in 1950s sitcom, and they're like live throughout the ages and like it sounds so weird and bizarre and like why would this even be a thing? But they made it work so well, and they tied everything and made like the explanation for why it was happening work so well. And even though people didn't like the end where like the villain was revealed and like it was the CGI showdown, I didn't care. I loved the villain. I thought she was so good. WandaVision was like so different than anything else that I've seen from the Marvel universe, and it's probably my favorite Marvel thing.
All
It's
right.
if it's not my favorite, it's like way up there. It's so good. It's so different. It's so worth watching.
All right. I guess if I ever get into that kind of stuff, I guess I'll check it out. So I get as I said, my two and one are really interchangeable. So, given I think I know what your number one is, I'm gonna mention the one. I'm gonna do Raya and the Last Dragon first.
Okay.
I loved this movie. I thought the whole cast was super likable. I love Raya. Great. And by the way, between this and Crudes 2, Kelly Marie Tran, do more voice work, please.
Mm.
I would like that a lot. But yeah, Aquafina as Sisu. Sisu is a character that could have very easily gotten annoying, but I found her very funny and likable.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, all the characters they meet along the way, like what was Boone the kid, Noi the baby, and Tong the one guy. I liked all of them. The con baby I thought was hilarious.
I liked that baby a lot more than I thought I was going to. I was like, "What is this? This is almost
Yeah,
like Boss Baby. Like, are they trying to rip off the success of the Boss Baby?" But no, it was
that sounds.
it was its own thing, and I really liked that.
I was about to say, do you think Disney would be like, "Hey, we need rip off the Boss Baby"?
That's kind of what I thought from the commercial, but thankfully it was its own thing. She was her own
Yeah,
character.
yeah. The world building I really liked. I really liked each world they went to. I personally, this might be a bit of a hot take because I know a lot of people. I thought the trust message was well done. Personally,
Yeah, no, I disagree with all the people who thought it was stupid. I liked it.
same. I completely disagree. Yeah, excellent movie. I loved it. By the way, Aquafina, do more voice work also, and she's gonna be in The Bad Guys.
Yes, I'm so looking forward to that movie.
Yeah,
Not
so
just because of her, but she's a big part of why.
yeah, I really like a lot of the cast. I like the trailer I've seen. I like the animation style a lot. There's a lot I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, Aquafina, I really liked her, and I hope she does. She's mostly done a lot of the other stuff I've seen her in is like small roles, like the Angry Birds movie too, and SpongeBob, Sponge on the Run. Like those are just like kind of minor roles. So it's like Sisu was like the first like big role I saw from her.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, it's a lovely movie. I recommend it. I saw both this and the next movie I'm about to mention twice in the theater. All right, so I think I know your number one, which is why I'm mentioning it second. I guess
Mm-hmm.
go on.
I'm sure it's the same.
Encanto.
Yes,
I loved Encanto.
yes. That's my favorite movie of the whole year.
It's excellent. I've seen
Definitely.
it like five times, five, six times. I've twice in the theater. I've seen it a couple times. I watched all the special features on the Blu-ray the other day.
I don't have the Blu-ray yet, but I've watched it on Disney Plus and in the theater.
Yeah,
There's not been many of these movies that I've seen twice. I haven't really had time, but I've made time to watch Encanto more than once because I just loved it so much.
yeah. I haven't seen. I'm kind of like what movie? I've seen Peter Rabbit, Boss Baby, Sing, and the Raya and Encanto twice in the theater, and like I think I've seen like a few of these like one other time on Blu-ray, but like that's about it. But yeah, I loved Encanto. I love Mirabelle. She is such a likable protagonist.
Mm-hmm.
She's so adorable, and like I love her. And like all the other family members, like I also Bruno, I like a lot. Which fun fact, Bruno's name was originally going to be Oscar. Yeah, I found that out the other day. That song would not work as well with nearly any other name, by the way.
No, you need
Uh,
Bruno.
all the other like Luisa, Antonio, Isabella, all of them I really like.
I loved how they were able to make them all feel like characters and not just, I don't
Yeah,
know,
I guess kind of what
somebody in
I
the background to move her story
yeah,
along. They felt like their own characters,
yeah,
and they each had their own arcs as well.
yeah, and also I guess similar to what I mentioned with Ron's Gone Wrong, they made like very like characters that could have easily been stereotypical, like the strong one or the perfect one. Like they made those actual characters,
Yeah.
and all the songs are excellent between Family Medical, Columbia, Waiting on a Miracle, Surface Pressure, Don't Talk About Bruno, What Else
Mm-hmm.
Can I Do? Dulce, I'm blanking on the title, but it's the one that got nominated for Best Original Song. And All of You, all songs excellent, great. So I've listened to that soundtrack so much.
Yeah, I've listened to the soundtrack on YouTube a whole bunch of times. I need to just buy the thing. I haven't bought a soundtrack in ages, but I think I need to buy the Encanto soundtrack. It's so good.
Yeah, Yeah, it's so good. And like all the Stephanie Beatrix could not be more Stephanie Beatrix is so good as Mirabelle. I want to see her do more theatrical voice work. I know she was in the Lego movie too, and a very small role in Ice Age 5, but that's about it. She's excellent.
Yeah,
John Leguizamo also great as Bruno. Every other one, not a lot of recognizable. I guess Disney, since they choose people who fit the role, more than just like random celebrities. It's like each
yeah.
character. It's like I didn't know a lot of the other cast members other than those two, but they all did excellent. I want to give a shout. Jessica Duro as Louisa was excellent.
Hmm.
Like especially with what the character, like her, like having the like pressure and stuff. Like that voice work fit that character really well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just
That's
love.
one. That's probably my favorite song. Like
Yeah, I love.
everybody loves no. Don't talk about Bruno, which is amazing, and I love that song too. But I think Surface Pressure is my favorite song.
I was cracking up so hard with the donkeys in that song, just being background dancers. Found that hysterical. But yeah, I loved Encanto so much.
And I loved how they made the grandmother like a character like that you could easily turn into like the perfect wise matriarch, and I loved how they made her flawed, and I loved her
Yeah,
backstory.
yeah,
And I also I didn't realize this at first, but I looked up who did her voice. They had a different person doing
for
her
the
singing
singing.
voice, and I it's the same person who played the grandmother in the Heights.
I've noticed.
And it was I was like when I saw that I was like that is absolutely perfect because she just had the perfect voice. I loved her.
Yeah, it's like it's so good. And I want to mention the grand Abuela. She has good, like, yes, she's a little hard on Mirabelle, but at the same, at least she has good reasons for doing what she does.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike, let's say, Buck Cluck from Chicken Little. Yeah,
That was not a connection I was expecting to be made, but
you're
I
like
guess
just like like a Disney parent. I get like, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, like she has good reasons for doing what she does. Buck Cluck has none.
Yeah.
Honestly, for both Encanto and Raya, I would say I would totally be down for a TV show for both.
Yeah. They both are movies that would make perfect sense to have a spin-off show. And you can't say that about every movie, but this both of them have enough characters and enough world
Yeah,
potential that you could explore much better in a show than just
yeah,
making another movie. Although I wouldn't say no to another movie of either either.
yeah.
But
I'm
yeah.
not specifically wanting another movie, but if they have an idea, sure. It's like
Hmm.
we didn't like. I thought we didn't need a Frozen 2, and that was really good. So
Yeah. I liked Frozen 2 better than the original Frozen actually.
I mean,
And I
I like Frozen 1 more, but like I still loved Frozen 2. So it's like, and like that's a good example of a sequel. I was kind of like, is this really needed? But the ideas they had, like, okay, yeah, this justified its existence.
For me it was the music. The music was what justified its existence. I loved the soundtrack to Frozen 2.
Oh yeah, it was pretty good. Lost in the Woods much? But yeah, yeah, that's every all the movies I guess we've watched from last, or like the main ones, like the top and the bottom.
Yeah. I have a bunch of others, but they're all more meh,
Or
mediocre.
meh to decent, I guess.
Yeah. There's
Like
I guess
some
there are some that I didn't mention that are I would still watch again, but I wanted to pick out the ones that I wanted
yeah,
to
some
recommend
of
the
the ones I
most.
mentioned earlier before you went into the honor, like some of the other ones I've seen, it's like I thought they were okay, like Adam's Family or Rumble, stuff like that. It's like there wasn't like again, didn't see a lot of like flat out terrible movies, which I'm glad considering I go to the
Hmm.
theater for a lot of these.
Yeah, I tend to purposely avoid movies that I know I'm not gonna like.
Is there any particular movies you're looking forward to coming out this year, I guess?
Um,
I know
well, Turning Red
Spider-Verse.
for sure. Oh yeah, I need like a list in front of me to look. But yes, Spider-Man, the sequel to Into the Spider-Verse, that's probably one of my top most look forward to films.
Yeah, there's a lot I plan on seeing. Yeah, I hope a lot of these are just as good as a lot of the movies we just talked about.
Yeah, I can't see how the next Spider-Verse wouldn't be, but yeah, that no, I'm really looking forward to that one. I love the original Spider-Verse
Yeah, I
with
liked it. I'm not looking forward to Super Pets that much, I will say.
I think
Wasn't
I was looking forward to it more until I saw the trailer.
Yeah, I was not impressed with that trailer.
Yeah, no, not really.
I guess not movies, but I do want to mention that the two theatrical Disney shorts, Us Again and Far from the
Mm.
Tree.
Oh yeah,
I really like
yeah,
both of those.
definitely. Those were very good. Us Again was amazing, and Far from
Yeah.
the Tree was a nice surprise because I wasn't expecting to get a
I was the one who
short.
told you about the short, actually.
Yeah, I didn't even know that they were going to have a short, so that was a nice surprise, a
Yeah.
nice little bonus for watching
And
the
something
movie.
I appreciate about most of Disney's theatrical shorts, they're silent shorts, and that includes these two.
Yeah, I really like silent animated films. Th-
Shaun the Sheep, specifically, being a really good one.
oh yeah,
I love Shaun the Sheep so much.
yeah, me too.
But yeah, I guess. Yeah, thanks for having me on. I really liked doing this. I would like to make this a yearly thing if you want.
Yeah, this was fun, and
Yeah.
we will have you back sooner than next year because we're going to be doing another
Yes.
episode
Yes.
soon.
I will be back. So if you like hearing my voice, congratulations. Unfortunately, it's not a Norm of the North podcast. I keep on telling Jonathan, like, hey, can we do a Norm of the North podcast? I feel like everyone would really like that. But for some reason he doesn't want to, unfortunately.
I have a feeling that there's not much of an audience for a Norm of the North podcast.
I think I remember what you specifically said when I first asked. Because, again, I joke around with people a lot. Maybe if I start I hate movies instead of I heart movies.
Yeah,
But yeah, thanks for having me on. I had a really good time. It was nice finally talking to you in voice because this was something I've wanted to do for a long while.
yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I guess for the audience, we'll see you all later. Thank you so much for watching. Follow, I'm assuming if you're watching this, you already know follow Jonathan on all social media. He's a great guy. I like talking to him a lot.
Yeah, do you want to let people know where they can find you if they want more from you?
I have a Twitter at Jayden Sapp 2. I have a letterbox, which is Jayden Sapp, and I have an Instagram, JW Sapp 12, I think is my thing. But like, if you type Jayden Sapp, you might be able to get it still. I do have a YouTube channel, but like, I don't post on it much because I lack severe motivation to make videos.
I have days like that.
Yeah, but yeah, thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it. I love you, man. You're a great guy.
Yeah, we will see you again soon.
All right, see you guys.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the I Heart Movies podcast. If you like what you've heard, make sure to subscribe on your preferred podcast platform or to the I Heart Movies YouTube channel. Make sure to follow my co-host as well. Any relevant links will be in the description for easy access. We'll be back soon with another brand new episode, so thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.